Widely known as the #1 rated small ski area in North Carolina is Appalachian Ski Mountain. And today I'm doing a full ski mountain review going over 5 major categories, each rated from 0 to 20, that can easily be compared to any other ski resort. At the end of the video, I'll add up all the scores from each category to give an overall score out of 100, making it easier than it's ever been to decide which ski resort is the best fit for you, and ultimately helping you decide if visiting this ski resort is worth your time and money. First, let's look at the type of terrain offered at Appalachian Ski Mountain, or App for short. App has an evenly distributed amount of runs at each difficulty level with 3 green trails, 3 blue trails, 3 black diamond trails, and 3 park trails across the mountain. Let that sink in for a second. 25% of their mountain's terrain is set aside for terrain park riding. When is the last time you heard of a ski resort having such a high percentage of their runs set aside for freestyle riding? That is one of the resort's unique qualities and definitely helps it stand out, especially when one of its neighboring mountains, like Sugar, removed their terrain park altogether. App has a decent season length for the southeast, opening December 3rd this season and projected to stay open through March 15th. In recent years, its normal season lasts typically from mid-November to late March, and App is able to stay open this long due to their top-notch snowmaking efforts. The ski resort puts an emphasis on making snow as early and often as possible, even noting a snow depth over 100 inches throughout the season most years. That's an awesome amount of snow for a North Carolina resort. App's summit tops out at 4,000 feet elevation due to it being located in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, but only has a vertical drop of 365 feet. This resort is not a place to go for its vert, but more of a smaller family-owned ski mountain, with their longest run here being about 1/3 of a mile in length. This mountain is a great place for riding multiple laps. For App's overall terrain, I'm going to give it a 14 out of 20 because its stats aren't impressive, but they do a good job at focusing their efforts on having a variety of terrain, even with their small mountain footprint. Now let's take a look at how their mountain is laid out. App has 6 total lifts providing access to its 12 different runs. There's a quad lift marked as A on the trail map used for the Applejack Park Trail and a blue run. A double and quad lift taking skiers and snowboarders up to the summit, which provides access to the other 2 park trails and allowing riders to head down the black run of Upper Big Apple or the blue Orchard Run. And don't forget, there's a midway exit point on the double lift that goes all the way up to the summit, so you can get off here if you want. And the other 3 lifts, if you want to call them that, are 2 conveyors and 1 handle pole for beginner terrain. App is a great mountain for beginners because all of the runs will lead riders back to the main lodge, which means getting lost or turned around on this mountain is almost impossible. I'm giving the mountain layout a 15 out of 20 because this mountain is suited well for beginners and the lifts are spread out well enough to keep lift lines moving quickly. Next category is lodging. Where can you stay if you want to go riding here? Although there isn't specifically a big lodge at the base of App, they do have 4 rental houses owned by the resort, 1 mile or less away from the slopes you can book through their website. App is also only a 10-minute drive from Blowing Rock, North Carolina, and only a short 16-minute drive from Boone, North Carolina, which makes staying in one of those places at a hotel or private Airbnb a convenient choice as well. Not to mention, App is only 35 minutes from Sugar Mountain. Lodging gets a 13 out of 20 because slopeside options are minimal, but many more choices are only a short commute away. Now let's talk about how much it's going to cost you to come ride here. App's online lift ticket purchasing platform is what I'd love to see. The online process easily walks you through step by step, letting you choose between a super session, 9-hour flex, or night session for weekdays. I'll list the costs on the screen here, and on the weekends they split up the night skiing options further for a midnight session, which is 5 p.m. to close, and a half night session, which is 8:30 p.m. to midnight. When is the last time you heard of a mountain that kept their slopes open until midnight? If you know of somewhere, let me know in the comments because that's pretty rare. So a full day of riding on a Saturday is only $85, and on a weekday it's only $60. But you can also get a 9-hour flex ticket for $51, which is crazy for 9 hours of riding. Not to mention this mountain has these kiosks all over with touchscreens, making getting or reloading your lift ticket super easy, and it helps avoid waiting in ticket booth lines like other North Carolina resorts. Also, if you only ride for 4 hours or less, you can go to guest services and they'll give you a $10 credit back onto your ski pass to use for the next time. Cost gets a 14 out of 20 because the lift ticket process is efficient and stays pretty affordable overall. The last category is the uniqueness factor. Most people who've been to App will say their intentionality towards their terrain park is what makes them stand out. And although I agree with that, I also think keeping night skiing open till midnight is super cool and super rare. Now they only stay open that late on midnight blast sessions, which are Friday and Saturday nights, but it's the only late night skiing in the high country, and it gets the uniqueness factor up to 19 out of 20. The overall review score for Appalachian Ski Mountain is a 75 out of 100, which is a great score for a smaller mountain in North Carolina. What do you think of my rating? Would you give App a different score? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to know how App's neighboring resort scored, check out this mountain review of Sugar Mountain.